Alrighty then, back once again for another reaction. This time it's Once Upon a Time, Season 2, Episode 11. Last time out, we had quite the episode of two halves. We got a lot of interesting, more backstory clips about Regina and a big step forward in her developments and stuff. We were getting to see how much progress she's already making, including Emma inviting her to the party for Henry's sake. Like, things starting to get better. And then Cora and Hook roll into town, and Cora has made a mess of everything because now everybody, because of Regina's past working against her, and through the dog's memory, because it was hard to contextualize that Regina wasn't actually there, despite it appearing like she was, things have pretty much taken a nosedive for her, and it's very sad because now Henry thinks that his mother murdered someone. I mean, besides Graham, it's more like the post Reformation Regina has killed someone, and that makes it seem like she never changed at all. And so faith in Regina is rock bottom at the moment, and everyone basically like, oh, we're done with this bitch. Like, and that's really difficult because she was making steps, and I feel so bad for her, and her acting is just phenomenal in the first place. I was super relieved that Archie wasn't actually dead. I was very shocked at first because I thought, well, hang on, he is minor enough. No disrespect to the character, by the way. I was just thinking, well, technically he is minor enough that he could be removed without affecting too much of everything. So I thought, well, there's no reason to not commit to it, even though I'm thrilled that's not the case. It would just make sense in my mind if it was for real. That's why I believed it so easily. Like, does that make sense to you guys? Like, I just thought, well, this is the level of character you usually kill off if you're going to kill someone off in a series. It was a bit like Graham. Like, he has some emotional relevance to the main characters, but at the same time he's not main, that kind of thing, so he can be cut off if the writers so desire. That's basically where I was thinking with that, but I'm so glad that he's going to be able to keep helping Regina going forward, and he obviously will be the key piece of evidence showing up to clear her name. It was like, no, it wasn't her at all, it was this dusty bitch over here.
You jerk! Are you talking about me?
So I'm looking forward to the moment that happens, and Regina hopefully gets apologies off of everyone, because although it was an easy mistake to make, I think just out of common courtesy an apology would be in order, if you catch my drift. But we'll have to see if anybody's actually willing to do that. I know Emma probably will, and that will be like another building block in them mending the bridge between them. So yeah, but as for what's going to happen in this episode, I have no clue. I'm guessing we're going to be dealing with Regina's fallout because she was in so many tears knowing what Henry will think of her now, when she knows in her heart of hearts she's not done anything. This is all really confusing to her. Everything's just suddenly happened and been blamed on her. Like, I can't imagine what she's feeling right now, so she's a bit of a wild card right now, because people who are at their lowest will... this series is a prime example. Once you reach rock bottom and the first opportunity to get out of it, no matter how dirty or grimy it is, people will grab it. People who are desperate will do anything, and that makes them unpredictable and it makes them scary. So I hope she doesn't make too many mistakes and doesn't get too far influenced by Cora before this is all over. I know that Cora's intention is to break Regina and then be like, I'm the only one that can give you something, and she's going to try and build her back up as more loyal to her again. But something I'm found wanting is, I want Regina to have come far enough to be strong enough to still be like, no, I still don't want to be around you. Like, I don't know. Something tells me that although the narrative is pushing towards her falling back under Korra's arm, I would like to believe that we might be getting one of Once Upon a Time's famous subversions of cliche if she were to still refuse her influence and maybe even try to clear her name on her own. I don't know. I'm thinking of more interesting ways this could go about, but well, I'm not saying that the Korra manipulation route wouldn't be interesting, but, you know, I know that Once Upon a Time likes to subvert this kind of thing, so I'm just wondering if we could get some of that here. I just think that would be pretty cool. But, yeah, don't have much else to say. I think this episode will be dealing with the fallout directly. I think we're going to see Hook start to do things in the effort to, you know, confront Rumple, because obviously they're grilling Archie for information, and I hope the poor thing doesn't get hurt too badly. I hope he just gives them what they want to know, because come on, who wants to, if they're gonna get it out of you anyway, why put up with torture? Like, I can put my hands up and say that I'm such a weakling, I'm such a coward when it comes to pain that you wouldn't even need to touch me. I would tell you all of my secrets. Like, I don't care. If you'd have got it out of me anyway, I'd rather skip the pain, thank you. Like, no thank you. I'll tell you everything you need to know. Put me back in my cell, please. That's just me. I'm sorry if that would make me a traitor in wartime. I'm sorry if that would get people killed. But because of my natural cowardice as a person, I literally would be like, don't hurt me. Here it is. Everything. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Like, I'm that much of a wimp. So I hope that he understandably gives it up with very little torture, and I'm interested to know what sort of information he can give Hook that will help him. I assume he wants to know the general stalkerish things like, what's his particular route through this town, what hours of the day is he active, who does he live with, how well armed is he. Like, he's just going to ask a bunch of personal details about him, like a form that a kidnapper fills in, or like when you hire a hitman on the dark web or something. Not that I've ever done that. I've just browsed the dark web like we all have and had a look around, thought, this isn't for me, and then uninstalled Tor and never went there again. So I'm curious as to how, even with whatever Archie tells him, he's going to tackle this task of confronting Rumple, because now that he does have some magic back, doesn't he? Like, I'm sure when magic returned to Storybook, both him and Regina have some powers back, don't they? I can't quite remember if Rumple has powers yet, or if he is just uses a lot of magical items. I don't quite remember, but I'm sure it will become clear as soon as he gets into a confrontation. Man, I've been talking for a while, probably because I'm excited. That shows how much this show is grabbing me right now. We truly are in a really awesome portion, and I see what people were saying when they said that season 2 just continues to ramp up and ramp up and ramp up. So I'm not going to waste any more time talking, and I am going to see you on Vimeo. Okay, this was a humdinger. This had so much in it. So much happened. And Regina didn't even show up in Storybrooke, at least. Like, this has gone an entirely different direction than I ever expected it to go, and that's on literally every front. Where do I even begin? To start with, I didn't think everything would resolve this quickly with the whole Archie's dead, let's blame Regina thing. I did not think that this would be resolved so quickly. Belle literally went in there, sprung him out, and then he's back in Storybrooke, right as rain. Okay. Okay, sure, I'll buy it. I loved how everything to do with that played out. But like I said, I did not expect that. I thought it would be one of those things that a show drags out as a big mystery, but good old smarty pants Snoop Bell figured everything out through exploring. Now is Hook dead? I don't know if I don't think they'd kill him off so soon after bringing him to Storybrooke, so I think he's just unconscious after being struck by the car. But oh my gosh, this episode proves one of Once Upon a Time's best and greatest strengths, in my opinion. It builds you up one way and then it takes a hard left the other way to truly give you mood whiplash in the best kind of dramatic way. And there's no better way to describe this than to describe my other points first, and then we'll come to the ending. I adored Belle's bravery in both the past and the present. It's an admirable trait that I've always loved about her character. She really does embody courage, and seeing her apply that courage to all walks of everything she was doing was amazing, including staring down Hook's gun barrel, and how she fought hard to keep Rumpel on the right path and so that he wouldn't kill Hook. That was all great stuff. I loved Belle's agency in how she got things done on her own initiative, on her own recognizance, whatever term you want to use, and it was very, very helpful in a lot of ways. It was an interesting experiment to basically preserve memories going over the line. I didn't think it meant we were heading for the ending that we did, but as I said, I'll get to that later. Obviously we got the Smee Captain Hook thing, even though it was only short-lived and Smee got turned into a rat. I hope he gets turned back at some point, and this isn't just one of those, oh well, that's just how he is now. I hope at some point Rumpel does turn him back, though I don't know how far into the resolution of the Hook plot that's going to be. What else did I write down? Something that really stood out to me, and was the main thing that I was implying that I wanted to talk about at the end, was the whole episode, right? Ever since Rumpel hid the truth about killing his wife, I had it in my head that as soon as the truth came out, him and Belle would be done again for a bit. I thought that she might be a little bit scared of that information because she's involved with him. She doesn't want to one day get her heart crushed, that kind of thing. Or, oh, this is such an awful thing, yet another thing you didn't tell me about. Like, why didn't you just tell me? I thought they were gonna have a whole squabble. I kept going on about the next hurdle in their relationship. I should have known better. Once Upon a Time, for the most part, doesn't do trodden cliche. This is something I'm coming to understand and respect the more and more I go through this show. I'm beginning to respect more and more that the big cliche things that I expect to happen just aren't going to. The writers respect these characters too much. Belle did not waver in her support of Rumpel. This goes against every cliche I've ever been taught from fictional media. It goes against all of it. Usually when that kind of bombshell is revealed, oh well, this guy, he didn't tell you the truth, he murdered this woman, he killed his wife. Usually that's the, oh no, how could you moment. And it wasn't. It was, yeah, he's done fucked up things, but he's trying to change, which is why I'm still fighting for him. Like, it was that simple, yet I rarely see that. That was amazing. The faith she showed in Rumpel, even as he was battering Hook's ass, like, she got through to him, and she still cares about him, still loves him, and oh, That's why I say that their relationship is one of the most wholesome I've ever seen, because she is nothing but support, and it's thawed him and got through to him. Like, he is genuinely trusted and supported, and he wants to repay that trust. This is really cool stuff, and that leads into how this sort of parallels Regina in a way. What happened to Rumpel sort of mirrors what happened to Regina in the previous episode, and with Once Upon a Time at this point, I'm sure that's not a coincidence. I'm sure it's entirely intentional. This show is so detail oriented. Last episode, we got a big summation of how far Regina's come. We had a ton of positive going forward for Regina, and then it all got stripped away, and her world came crashing down around her for reasons she didn't even know. But this time we got a wonderful dedication to how far Rumpel has come, thanks to Belle, how far their relationship has developed, how much they trust each other, and she was able to pull him back from the brink several times, and it was so romantic, so cool, so awesome to see. And then, just like with Regina, it got ripped away. It got ripped away. And this is also particularly cruel because Rumpel was like, he has to die. And it was going to kill him, which I thought was humorous the way he did it, including, no magic, I'm just going to whack you. Like, that's so... It's not the first time he's beat a man within an inch of his life. But to see it done that way was pretty epic. But there's a cruel irony in the fact that Belle convinced him to spare Hook's life, and then Hook goes and shoots Belle, which causes her to lose her memory by falling over the line. If Hook would have been killed, that wouldn't have happened. Belle wouldn't have lost her memory, and you heard the heartbreak in Rumpel's voice. The actor is so amazing. From the high pitch earlier in the shop when he was, talking to Belle, and then you cannot undo what you've done. Like, he was so distressed, and I started to feel that. I started to feel that through the screen. I was tearing up slightly. That counts. If you were to make a tally of the amount of times Once Upon a Time has made me, quote, cry, I think this would be on the list, because I felt it was one of those where you're more welling than the stuff that actually comes out. I was truly welling because I felt that. I felt that in my soul, because we've spent so much of this episode building up on the wholesome vibes of their relationship and being happy for them in how much they trust each other, being happy for Rumpel that he's finally about to set out to see his son, and then bang! And that's like, that's one of the worst sounds to hear in a drama. The lone gunshot that always is the harbinger of trouble. Like, it all got ripped away, and this just reinforces the theory that this all can be reversed, the memory loss. But who knows how long that's going to take? How many episodes? How many seasons? I don't know how long this dividing line is going to be here, when they can get rid of the effects of the curse completely so that they can leave, or if there's any way at all to get those memories back, or is Belle completely going to have forgotten now? Just completely. Because, oh my goodness, that's so rough. Ugh. You see, that is how you know that a show has developed its characters properly. For a development like this to have shocked me to my core, it means that I didn't want to let go of what was already there, so I feel the loss of it, just like the character feels the loss of it. So that proves that it was there. Do you get what I'm saying? That proves that something of great worth was there that has now been lost, which means there was so much development and likability that's been just taken away from her. And Rumpel now doesn't have his moral anchor. Rumpel might become the most dangerous character in the entire show. I know he probably was already, but I mean, an enraged Rumpel is probably going to be the biggest monster the show's ever seen. He's probably going to spiral as a result of this, because this is twice that he's lost everything. I don't think he's going to take this well at all. I think he is going to go ballistic, unless this person showing up in the car with the number plate that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm sorry, it's been too long. I'm guessing it must have been the car that was parked up in front of where his son was that one time that we saw him with the postcard. And I'm guessing, and I'm guessing that car must have been seen at that time. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if he's come that, because wasn't he getting ready to go out somewhere, like he was planning on coming to Storybrooke? So is this the day he finally arrives? Is that what we're doing? I'm hoping that he can serve as Rumpel's new emotional anchor and moral anchor, like he was sort of doing when he was descending into madness back in the magic world. Yeah, I'm thinking we might be headed that direction. I think he's swapping one moral anchor for another, but obviously we're going to have to wait and see if that's who's even here. Like I say, I haven't watched the episodes that involved it in a long time, so I can't quite remember the significance of this car, and I'm sorry. But that's my working theory right now, that it's his son, and he is basically going to replace Belle as his moral anchor. But it does suck for him that his one true love is basically lost to him, and he doesn't know how she's gonna get her memories back. Like, to him, it's like she's already dead. Like, it's a fate worse than death. Like, his love doesn't even remember him. That, like I say, without the proper anchorage, this is gonna break him, and I'm scared and excited at the same time to see where this is gonna lead his character. Jeez, last episode, Regina became the character I was most invested in the terms of her direction, but her and Cora weren't involved in this episode at all, save for the flashback with Regina capturing Snow in their capturing Belle in their story. Like, I like how they keep filling in little details and scenes that we didn't see before that are part of established flashback stories. That's pretty cool, but But to think that in this episode, I'd be right back to thinking that Rumpel's character direction is the most interesting. Oh my gosh. And as a side note, I better bring it up. As a side note, it's interesting that everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are starting to raise a question that I've wanted to see them raise for a while, because it would be a legitimate concern. I was always curious to see how they'd handle this question when it comes up. So some of us want to go back to the Enchanted Forest. When is that happening? The curse is gone. Like, we're not guaranteed safety here, and although you've got some nice medicine, it's not exactly a magical realm, is it? Like, it's not our true home. Like, we do need to go back. And they did raise the possibility of, what if people from the outside come and see all this? Like, the world as a whole doesn't really know about magic. This was Emma's normal human world. But like I say, I'm one of those people that thinks magic may as well be known, because then there's no need to stress yourself out with secrecy over it. Because, you know, you have the magic. Who's going to threaten you? But I guess there's that whole fear about how government would want control of it. Oh, we're going to whisk you all the way to Area 51 or whatever. Like, you know, the realistic fears of such things. I don't know if that's why Harry Potter wizards were always like, oh no, don't show the muggles our magic. No. But very interested to see where we'll go with that, whether some of the characters will start demanding to go back, and whether we're going to make that a whole thing, a whole issue of, oh, this amount of people want to go back, this amount of people want to stay, how do we resolve this? We've got to figure something out to send everyone back. I don't know if that's the next course of action for the townsfolk as a whole. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's reaction to Archie being back, because we only saw his close circle react. I mean, they're going to have to replace that grave now. They're going to have to undo that, but like, wait, who the hell did we bury? Because obviously Korra disguised the body to look like him. What else? Am I forgetting anything? Well, if I have, that's tough luck, because I've been talking for a while now, because this was an episode. It just was. It was fantastic. It was epic. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Truly remarkable, this show. It's truly remarkable. I shall see you guys next time.